Hello there and welcome to this week's episode of Eye on Port, a program we have designed to bring the activities of the port closer to you and also you closer to the port's activities. Now, this program is proudly supported by Ghana Community Network Services, also the Star Assurance, providing you the best insurance if you deal with the maritime industry or import and export trade in this country. Also, West Blue Consulting is our new entrant, and we say a big welcome to West Blue Consulting Limited, particularly the Chief Executive, Madame Valentina Minta. We say thank you for joining the team to bring the port activities closer to the public and the public also closer to the port. In the coming days, we should be welcoming more sponsors, including the Ghana Oil Company Limited, Mr. Patrick Akoli, Madame Rosemond and Robert Tre, and all of the team at GOA. We are waiting for you. Folks, the Ports and Harbours Authority is doing all it can to bring the best of service to the trading public. If you look behind me there, a number of equipment are being purchased by the Port Authority. Lots of trucks, lots of cranes, rich stackers, all to make doing business in the port the best in the entire African region. Already the Port of Tema is ranked the best in the Western Central African region, and they want it to be the best in the whole Africa region. That's why they are purchasing all of these. But the port has gone further than that. They are trying to make all the terminal operating activities electronic. Because of that, very soon, every container that is taking off from the vessel, put onto the maffies by the rich stackers, are going to be digitalized. And that is also to make identification of containers very easy. So in the times when people's containers will come to the port and they will be complaining that those containers are missing, it's going to be a thing of the past. You will never hear those complaints any longer.
The simulation exercise for the Terminal Operating System, TOS, has successfully ended.
TOS is basically cargo handling equipment interacting with terminal gating system.
TOS is a key part of the supply chain and primarily aims to control the movement and storage of various types of cargo, containerized or general, in and around the terminal or port. The systems also enable the port to make better use of assets, labor and equipment, plan the workload and get up-to-the-minute information, which allows for more timely and cost-effective decision-making.
Once a container is landed, the bill is ready. So we cut those delays from the system. So in terms of cost, we are reducing the cost of operation.
The productivity of each equipment will be monitored. So now we save time in transferring containers from the vessel front to the holding area. So that is drastically reduced. And every operator will be monitored and will be able to know which operator is efficient and which operator is lazy.
During the simulation exercise, managers of the port's terminals were schooled on how to input data on containers into handheld devices, which were then transmitted across all those on the container handling chain to its final destination in the port before pickup by the importer.
We now have more than sufficient race stackers and maffies. So depending on the distance here and there, enough maffies are located, enough race stackers are located. So as long as the container is landed, we just put it on the maffie or the trailer, and it just comes straight to the yard.
The Terminal Operating System, TOS, will also enable the port streamline its operations to meet the demands of the industry players.
This is something that we have needed for a long time to streamline our operations and also to give us data, to give us good statistics that we can use in planning.
The port terminal managers believe the TOS will ensure efficiency.
Vessel operation is going to improve, obviously, and the stacking of our containers and eventually the delivery of our containers are going to improve.
You know, IT systems come with standards. Therefore, we are going to have standards for our operations. We'll be able to monitor the utilization of our equipment and our resources. And at the end of the day, we are going to have productivity, good productivity and performance reports That is very reliable.
Reports of missing containers are also expected to be eliminated with toss.
This issue of I can't find my container, we have to do a lot of digging, unproductive moves by, taking off some containers while we search through for the others are all going to be a thing of the past.
The managers believe the time and cost of operating will drastically reduce.
We've seen tremendous improvement in the supply of machines, tools to do the work. So question of time wasting or anything is very extremely minimal.
Ship turnaround time will be reduced. Looking at the process, cargo turnaround time, truck turnaround time, all will be reduced.
Accurate data is also expected to be realized.
When you are using manual data, getting data from people is so difficult. Sometimes you have to go several times, physical work, and then get the paper. Some may not be in good condition, even the handwriting and things, some are not legible. So with this system, once it's electronic and the data is entered once, then we are done. We can generate all our reports from it, and the level of error will be very low.
The IT manager of GPHA revealed that not just containerized cargo will be involved in the terminal operating system, but general goods as well.
Yeah, the general cargo, you have the cargo description, what it is, and you have the weight. It also comes with its own manifest, okay, with the weight. And interestingly, when the number of cargo, the crane is able to pick, if it picks 4 pieces, let's say it is 19 and it picks 4, the guy who is tallying will just say that number of pieces is 4. So the system will give you the remainder.
He said the system is tested to make doing business in the port the best.
The good thing is that this system becomes a decision support system for real-time decision to be taken. In the world of port today, is who takes the quicker and the faster decision. That person is the main person who has a competitive advantage.
He said all challenges will be addressed before the final takeoff in about 2 months. The system will also enhance transparency in the port, and instances where people were bribed to locate containers will completely be eliminated.
With our operating system, would be able to tell the customer exactly where your container is positioned. So they get into the platform, they can just walk straight to the container for the opening and delivery to be done.
The Port Authority is continuously increasing machinery and equipment to position the port as the best on the continent.
The ports all these years have done a lot to improve upon the infrastructure. So this is just timely to give efficiency to the whole system and to make the production of infrastructure, equipment and all other things worth it.
All these were evident in the ports of Ghana being adjudged the best in the West and Central African region at an African Ports Awards held in Abidjan in 2015. But Ghana's Ports Authority says it's not resting on its laurels, but will work to make the port the best on the continent.
Well, so a lot of automation work going on in the port, and looking at that container that's been lifted, it's already been keyed into a data, and that means that a lot of data that will be generated out of the port is going to be very, very accurate, because almost everything is automated, electronic for that matter, and that is where this port is driving at. Last year, September 1st, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority took over the job of risk valuation, classification and inspection of imports in the port. They were supported technically by West Blue, and ever since that period till now, that phase, that thing they call National Single Window, is what they have been doing all throughout. The first phase was called the Pre-Arrival Assessment Reporting System, PASS, and that was also being executed by the Customs with the technical support of West Blue. So after 5 months or so, we have been going out to ask people who do business in the port, the clearing agents, the freight forwarders and all of them, how that first phase of the National Single Window has been faring. Take a listen.
The government, through the Ghana Revenue Authority, has started feasibility studies to implement the second phase of the National Single Window project.
At the moment, we are doing feasibility studies So officers are going to almost all the regulatory bodies and gathering the information and put into a WCA model. So they make sure they eliminate all the duplication and it becomes a perfect system for all of us to operate.
The new system being implemented by Ghana Customs with technical support from West Blue Consulting Limited is in collaboration with GCNet and other agencies operating at the port. Meanwhile, players in the sea trade industry have commended the Ghana Customs and the technical partners for a successful implementation of the first phase of the National Single Window, which included the taking over of classification, risk valuation, and inspection of imports by customs from the destination inspection companies and the implementation of the pre-arrival assessment reporting systems, PAS.
So obtaining an inspection report is key to the customs clearance. And as such, that process must be efficient, it must be fast, and it must be reliable. This is what the single window is to us as freight forwarders.
The new reporting system, I think it is better. It is much improvement on the previous one.
The feasibility study of the second phase of the project is expected to end in April this year and will be followed by the automation of the processes and the procedures involved. The single window system introduced by government primarily provides the platform for an integrated clearance process to enhance transparency and ease ways of doing business at the port.
With this application too, it is transparent. Like you submit it, you will see the progress of the work. Immediately you submit, it tells you verification. So your document is at the verification stage. If there is something that they need to do, they will reject it. And when they reject, it comes with reasons.
Stakeholders say the smooth nature in which customs took over from the DICs and the new system being operated needs to be overwhelmingly commended.
The new single window has made a big difference in the processing of our inspection reports. I would like to encourage them to continue with the good work that they are doing. I would also like to appeal to them that they consider the Incoterms on the commercial invoices when they are processing our CCVRs.
They attest that the current reporting system is far better, although a lot can be done to improve the system.
One of the things that I would love to see is greater efficiency in populating the import declaration form from the MDA system to the PAS system, because I've realized that sometimes there are delays.
What I would like them to do is the duplication, data duplication, then work process duplication. Currently, when you are applying for your IDF, you attach documents. That's your bill of lading, your parking list, your invoice. You send it to get the IDF. And then when you're coming to do the PAS, that is, you're coming to do for the application also, you have to attach this same document. That's we believe in IT database. Once I've submitted it, they should have access to it. But currently, they don't have that access. That we have to do that duplication.
Stakeholders hope that as Customs and West Blue Consult work to improve the system in the second phase of the project, the operating officials will grow more conversant with the procedures to enhance the processes.
We are not total out. There are still some few challenges, but they are minor. And we always call on our partners. Once they identify any of the challenges in the process, just call the attention of the operators of this PAS system.
And so the second phase of the National Single Window, already feasibility studies are being undertaken by the folks who are in charge, that's Customs, as well as the technical partners, West Blue Consulting. But what exactly is involved? What have they been doing as far as the feasibility studies is concerned? When are they to start the second phase? What would be involved in all of that? I sat down with the Chief Executive Officer of the West Blue Consulting Limited, that's Madame Valentina Minta, to ask her all those questions about National Single Window and even the situations that existed before the entrance of the West Blue Consulting Limited.
Ghana's National Single Window is looking at integrating all the processes that would exist in the supply chain of import, export, or transit. So it looks at having interoperable systems within the environment. So if you have an existing IT system, the key is to make sure that that IT system speaks to the other IT system in a timely manner, so that all entities who need to regulate that particular commodity can do their work in a timely way to expedite, to save the time and cost of administering that particular commodity coming in or consignment coming into the country. So the pre-arrival assessment reporting system happens to be one of the services of a national single window. Another key feature or critical feature of a national single window is if I submit a data element to this single window. So if you can imagine one window, and behind that window having all the multitude of regulating agencies, both public and private sector. So the vessel owners, the airlines, the ports, the container management, the customs, the food and drug, the standards authority, etc. It's creating this one window so that if I submit my data to that single window, I should submit it only once. And it's up to those who are behind that single window screen to utilize it, to be able to provide me the necessary permits or certificates or clearance that I need. So phase one for Ghana was to go live with this pre-arrival regime, which was successfully done. And the time and cost of administering the pre-arrival has been significantly reduced. We're now moving into phase two, where we're conducting a feasibility study to identify the needs and gaps within the entire supply chain so that we can see what is working well, what needs to be improved, and what needs to be created to enable us achieve the single submission of a national single window.
Have you been able to lay your hands on some of the challenges, for instance, that have popped up as a result of working on the first phase, which is the pass phase?
Some of the items identified is there's one duplication point outstanding. So that is the integration of supporting documents from the IDF to the pass. So the IDF is the import declaration form, which is administered on a different platform. And that is a trigger for obtaining your CCVR. That's your trigger for your trade transaction. So that is being done on one platform. All the supporting documents, say your invoice, your bill of lading, is being attached to that. But we haven't achieved that seamless integration with the pass system. So what you find is the declarant now, after doing that and obtaining the IDF number, which is a unique reference number, they have to sign on to pass to continue to pull the IDF, but they have to reattach the documents. So what we're doing is we're working with Customs, Ministry of Finance, and GCNet and Ministry of Trade to move the IDF creation onto the pass system, have all your validation points on the pass system to ensure that seamless flow from IDF to CCVR.
The other thing I have also heard is the fact that some of the officers probably are now getting their feet on stuff. So there are a few things that they wobble over. Are you taking into consideration continuing to train the custom officers or probably support them more in terms of training?
I think with any modernization program or any reform program of this nature, this is to be expected, not just from the operators of the system, in this case the customs officers, but also the users. So we find that it's a change management issue as well as a capacity building issue. For the last 15 years, things have been done a certain way. Therefore, it's moving away from the status quo to a new environment will require some change management efforts, a lot of sensitization and capacity building on the tool itself. That is an ongoing thing. It's a never-ending process. But we are monitoring it carefully to ensure that it's not negatively impacting on the service that is being delivered. And we keep working at it to ensure that we get to that optimum goal for both sides.
Like we hear them say all the time, if you get garbage in, you get garbage out. Mm-hmm. So if you're not getting the right data all the way from source of purchase of any good, then you are likely to have situations where people forge documents, they forge receipts left, right, center, and that's what customs have complained over the period. Are you likely at any point in time to request information on goods purchased from outside?
So that's exactly what the feasibility study is doing. We're looking at 29 government agencies and 15 private sector companies, entities, who administer at some point in the supply chain. So for example, you have banks. You would have a letter of credit from a bank for that particular transaction. That letter of credit is going to have valuable information. So if I have agreed with my buyer or seller that the invoice amount is $1,000, I'm going to transfer exactly $1,000 from my account for that transaction. I'm not going to pay 800 and I'm not going to pay 1,200. So that is one check or control mechanism that we have on the system. Similarly, on the manifest, if I'm saying for that $1,000 I'm bringing 2 cartons of bottles, it's going to be 2 cartons of bottles that get onto that ship or onto that airline. My manifest data is going to give me some information about that. If I have transacted with my buyer or my seller, there's going to be a sales contract and an invoice that we would have exchanged. Now, that sales invoice is going to hold a lot of information which must reconcile with that manifest data, which must reconcile with that letter of credit, which must reconcile with the application that I put through PASS, and must reconcile with the declaration that I put through the GCMS, and must reconcile with the physical goods that turn up. So I could put on my documentation that I was bringing in plastic bottles, but at the physical bit, the scanning machine might pick up that this is not plastic, but it is glass. So you would go back to all those reconciliation and control points to highlight any anomalies that might have been thrown up when you have a look at the complete set of data that is available. This then enables the agencies direct finite resources to those high-risk items. So instead of having a gatekeeper approach where you're standing at the border hoping with your torchlight that you're going to find something, now you work on intelligence. And that is, intelligence is not based on one source or one document, but a reconciliation of various.
Recently we all heard that the World Bank report, Ease of Doing Business, we're ranking somewhere over 130 out of about 180 countries. Where does all of these national single window business and all these technical stuff leading us?
If we're able to provide a facilitated trade environment, that means the man on the street can buy their goods cheaper, good quality goods in a more affordable way, because the importer wouldn't have had to pay so many administrative costs. So those cost savings should be translated to the man on the streets. Secondly, what you actually achieve is if you have a facilitated port or an easy, an effective port, you're going to attract more foreign direct investment. You're going to attract more traffic or more business. With that brings in healthy competition and variety of goods, which should be translated to the man on the street.
And you have seen a couple of environments. You look at the environment, the Ghanaian environment in which we're working right now, and in which we are operating right now. Do you think we can get it right? And do you think this dream or vision is achievable?
Most certainly and definitely. I've worked in this environment in Central Asia. We worked in Mongolia, in Kyrgyzstan, in Kazakhstan, in China even. We looked at their single window environment. We worked in the sub-region in Nigeria. I think what is really key is the political will.
And do we have that?
We do certainly have that. For that single decision to end the destination inspection era after 15 years is a very commendable feat. Because to change a system after 15 years, when it becomes a part of the fabric of the society, takes political will, takes leadership, and takes vision. Then you need collaboration. You need collaboration across all the stakeholders, the agencies, the private sector. The freight forwarder should be speaking to the agents. So it's a business to business have to be working closely together. Government to government have to be working even more closely together.
And for the past 5 months, have you been seeing that sort of
The collaboration has been excellent. We visited 29 agencies and 15 private sector entities, the banks, the insurance companies, the terminal operators. And there is that commitment and that passion to see things different from what we've been working at.
And if we are able to have all of these with a collaboration, effective collaboration, we are seeing that we have, with the excellent leadership that we are seeing we have, should all of these exist, at what point can we be patting ourselves on the back?
We have set KPIs, key performance indicators, one of which is to reduce the time and cost of our trading across borders rankings, which you mentioned earlier, the World Bank trading across borders rankings, to reduce that by 50% in 3 years. So that's an aggressive target that we've set ourselves. Of course, if we overshoot that, that would be excellent.
That means we want to be ranked like a 60 out of a 180 country?
Absolutely, which is still not a good place, but it's a better place than being 120 plus. Back in 1998, UNCTAD conducted a study. UNCTAD is a UN body that looks at trade. It conducted a study and looked at just one consignment moving from one country to another. And can you believe that for that one consignment, 40 documents have to be filled over and over again. And of that 40 documents, you have 200 data elements. So this trader or this declarant has to fill consignor, consignee, place of embarkation, HS code, value, over and over and over again. Why does one have to do that when you can fill a master document and share it amongst the agencies who need to do their work and send that back? So to be able to reduce those 40 documents, it takes focus and it takes commitment.
What do you expect from stakeholder agencies you're working with as we move on to the second phase of this national single window? And what's ahead of us?
So what's ahead of us is to finalize the blueprint and sign that off to have the implementation roadmap for that. So the expectation is the understanding from all stakeholder groups, public and private sector, what the concept of a Ghana National Single Window is all about, what's in it for them, what are the gains, what are some of the pains that they have to go through to realize those gains, so that when we hit turbulence times, we can all put on our seat belts, hold fast until we come out of that. So it's really collaboration to ensure that, and setting up a clear vision.
Yeah, and the end of the tunnel looks bright in your view?
It does. It has to look bright. It's our nation. We must be committed to change it. Our rankings is nothing to be excited about. So if we can just think about how we can, and rankings is one thing. That's on paper or on a website somewhere. You must feel that change in the field. You must feel as a citizen that when I'm bringing my goods or when I'm buying, I can see that there is a change. I can see that there's a change in attitudes, not just system-wise, but human attitudes. The people administering or supporting me, there is a change. There's a service culture being provided. And that is what we all have to work to. That's the environment. If we need to compete on the global scene as a nation, if not, we're going to be left behind.
Iron Port can only wish the West Blue Consulting Limited and their partner Ghana Revenue Authority, that's the leading partner, the best of luck as they continue to make doing business in the port the best. And I have to say a big thank you again to Customs. They have been supporting this particular program immensely, trying to fix all the situations we get. When people complain to us, we make the complaints available to Customs, and we thank you for always being there to resolve them for us. Iron Port returns shortly after the break.
Sing about there ain't no limitations to your amazing grace, your amazing grace. And there's something about the way your love shines on my face. Oh no.
Star Assurance, creating smiles since 1985. Let go. Let's celebrate 30 years of solid partnership. Star Assurance, your solid partner.
I'll take care of you.
Every time you think of importing goods into Ghana, know that there is a competent team of world-class personnel to cater to your trade needs. Know that there is a help desk you can call with your queries. Know that you can speed up the process of clearing your goods with customs long before they arrive in Ghana. Remember that CCVR, which used to take several days, now only takes 48 hours through the new Customs Pre-Arrival Assessment Reporting System known as PASS. Remember that our staff all over the nation is waiting to serve you. Remember that PASS makes imports into Ghana faster, simpler, safer and easier. Ghana Revenue Authority, committed to serving you better.
Welcome back from the break. Still watching Eye on Port, proudly brought to you by Ghana Community Network Services, Star Assurance and West Blue Consulting. Coming up next, the Port Ladies Association, the beautiful Port Ladies, have donated to a very, very good cause. That plus many more news and activities happening in and around the port.
As part of the Valentine's Day celebrations, which is a season to demonstrate love and care, the Ghana Tourism Authority in the Tema region has shown their love for children from the Hope Setters Autism Center by taking them for a tour in the Tema port.
We are using the opportunity to show the kind of love we expect that people should show to each other. That is why we chose the Hope Setters Center for Autism.
Tema Regional Manager of the Ghana Tourism Authority stressed the need for the Port Authority to partner the Tourism Authority to promote the tourism potential of the port. He also seized the opportunity of the Valentine season to urge people to patronize Ghanaian processed chocolates.
The Port Ladies Association in Tema Plus has donated educational materials, food items, toiletries, among other items worth thousands of Ghana cedis to the demonstration school for the deaf at Mampong Ekwapim. The donation formed part of the Port Ladies' 20th anniversary celebrations, an occasion which is also used to show love and care to orphanages and persons with special needs. The president of PLAS said members were touched by the plight of the school and expressed hope that the donation will go a long way to reduce the suffering of the pupils in the school.
Donating to the needy in society is one of our main objectives. When the school reached out to us, we felt that this is the first time we've come to this place, but we've been to other places. But having been here and seen what they are doing and what the school is about, I think that will make it one of our regular places to visit.
We are mothers, and imagine if your child was brought here, you would want all the support as possible. And then seeing the sacrifice that the teachers are making so that these children could have a place in society. I think it's something that we are going to consciously be doing. Maybe we can adopt here for the next 5 years and see what we can do.
The headmaster of the demonstration school for the deaf expressed gratitude to the Port Ladies for their kind gesture and called for more assistance to help revive the once vibrant school.
Yes, students who benefit from the exercise books and other things that have been brought. So we can only say we are most grateful to the Port Ladies Association for this donation.
Meanwhile, the Port Ladies Association have climaxed their 20th anniversary with a lunch. Addressing the Port Ladies, the Director General of GPHA urged the ladies to adapt to the new and emerging challenges in the port environment to maintain their relevance in achieving higher efficiency.
As ladies, you got to always see challenge, and when you are sent to any place, try as much as possible to adapt to that environment.
The Director General seized the opportunity to promote two ladies who had worked in the port for 39 years and are due for pension next year to show his appreciation for their dedication and commitment.
After 39 years in service, in recognition of your continuous performance at your level, I'm giving it as an exceptional opportunity by lifting you, by upgrading you from Cat 7 to Cat 5.
All the ladies applauded and commended the Director General's gesture. The Vice President, Pakwesi Amizatha, has called on French businessmen to take advantage of Ghana's conducive environment to invest in the nation. Vice President Amizatha was speaking at the Ghana Bordeaux Business Forum in Accra, organized by the Ghana Investment Promotion Center GPHA, in collaboration with the Ghana Embassy in France and the French Embassy in Ghana.
I believe that French business people who are gathered here will continue to maintain an interest in Ghana because, as you, Mr. Ambassador, have maintained, our country has a reputation as a great performer in the African economy.
He said bilateral trade between the two countries exceeded $1.5 billion in 2013. Exports of $1.2 billion, made up of mainly cocoa, fish and fruit, were also realized. Mawuna Treba, Chief Executive Officer of Ghana Investment Promotion Center, called on the participants to use the first meeting of the forum to enhance their business relationship as well as build huge future entities.
I have every confidence that the French delegation will find in their Ghanaian counterparts during today's business-to-business meetings outstanding potential partners with all the right credentials to take their institutional interest in Ghana to the next level.
She encouraged constructive engagement between Ghanaian and French businesses.
To your amazing grace, your amazing grace. And there's something about the way your love shines on my face. Oh no, I can never get enough of you.
Star Assurance, creating smiles since 1985. Let go. Let's celebrate 30 years of solid partnership. Star Assurance, your solid partner.
I'll take care of you.
Every time you think of importing goods into Ghana, know that there is a competent team of world-class personnel to cater to your trade needs. Know that there is a help desk you can call with your queries. Know that you can speed up the process of clearing your goods with customs long before they arrive in Ghana. Remember that CCVR, which used to take several days, now only takes 48 hours through the new Customs Pre-Arrival Assessment Reporting System known as PASS. Remember that our staff all over the nation is waiting to serve you. Remember that PASS makes imports into Ghana faster, simpler, safer and easier. Ghana Revenue Authority, committed to serving you better.
Schedules of vessels sitting in the port, those sitting at anchorage, those expected for the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate. Next. Well, that's it for this week's episode, and I have to say lots of thanks to the entire crew for supporting the program. I recognize Fabio Baini, also the man behind the camera, Robert Nyantechi, Godwin Kabute, Solomon Anderson, Joe Lavo, Paul Asariansan, the executive producer, also Abna Sewa Opokufosu, also the executive producer, Ebenezer Teria, and all the entire crew who supported. I also thank you for watching.